What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how the Trump administration, MAGA, fascist takeover of our media landscape is in full effect. It was already getting bad, but it's about to get worse, and we're going to talk about that. So thank you very much for joining me here. If you are new to the channel, welcome to ClearTalk. If you'd like to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. We are on the road to 500. That's like my big goal right now. So any way you can help to get to 500, that would be amazing. So thank you very much in any way of joining the JMD Nation to help get to that. If you'd like to check out more of my other channels, there's JMD there, JMDPLAY, JMD Puzzling. If you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those as well and help those channels. We just hit 1,000 on JMD. That was amazing. And I've got some stuff special. It's lined up for next week on that. So that that's going to be awesome there. Patreon there, if you want to support in any kind of way, $3 a month. If you can let go of $3 a month and help and to help out JMD Nation, become a part of JMD Nation, that would be amazing. You can contribute to any channel that you would like. To help grow those channels, to help grow Patreon, to help grow the JMD Nation. Any contribution and support you give is very much appreciated, and I thank you very, very, very much. If you are returning, you're freaking amazing. You are amazing. Welcome back. Keep coming back, because you are what makes JMD Nation. Okay, so what are we talking about here? As we've known for a while, like, what was our main media outlets and where did they lean? When we're talking about right-leaning, left-leaning, centrist, what does that mean when it comes to media landscape? Well, for a while, your big ones was like Fox News, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, and basically CNN. I mean, those were like your major outlets for like mainstream media. There's a few others that have been over the years, but those are like your main ones. And this is going back to like your the early 90s. Okay, I think Fox was formed in the early 90s. The others were before that, but this is what we're talking about. Since the early 90s, that was been your main news outlets for mainstream media. You had basically Fox came out as pretty much right wing since the beginning. They have been owned by the right wing. That was their whole idea, was to have a right wing predominant news station to help out conservatives and Republicans, to be favored to them. That's kind of what it's been since the beginning, basically. And from that, they try, the right wing always tries to say that everything else is left, that they are the one and only outlet that's right wing, and everybody else is left. The Democrats just own all the media landscape. That Fox is our only thing. It's our only thing. That's not exactly true. CNN and CBS were basically middle of the line. Both of them tiptoed both in liberal and conservative areas. They've always tried to play that middle of the line, like tiptoe in favor in both sides, or try to look bipartisan as much as possible. We would have right influencers and left influencers or commentators or news anchors, so to speak. They've never been a full-on left, also not a full-on right. It's just always they balance right in the middle. More your left was MSNBC. MSNBC has basically been a fairly left, not like majorly left, but a basically kind of a left centrist. They were really the somewhat opposition in the media landscape to like Fox News. They played nice with CNN and CBS, but they pretty much have just been the opposition to Fox News. That's what we're talking about here, in the broad scope. So you had, again, Fox News right, MSNBC left, CBS and CNN basically sitting around the middle and just tiptoeing on both sides, playing footsie with both sides. That's pretty much been the landscape for the past couple of decades. But here of late, over the last 5 to 10 years, you've had some other media outlets, especially on the right, because the right has had this movement of trying to take over as much as they possibly could, to have a broader media influence. That's and it's been a pretty productive and successful. You've had One America News Network, and then Newsmax. Those are like super far right. They are so far right that they are challenging Fox's rightness, and have been, especially since Trump. Trump has been has emboldened the hyper right in the MAGA movement, and so your OANs and Newsmax that have come out of that. Have even challenged and gave challenge to Fox to be right or to be righter. Which has been a struggle, I think, for Fox Network, because Fox News, because they wanted to be right, but they also don't completely lean into the craziness of the far right. They try to have some semblance of like balance, even though they're right wing, like a reasonable, intelligent right wing, as like Fox News has pretty much become. But yeah, so that's what's happened there. But here of late, we've had even the far right trying to take over more and more of the center of the media landscape. And so lately, we first had a takeover of CBS. You have David Ellis, who is this guy here, this little chump here. Okay, he owns. I think he originally was the founder of Skydance, and then there was a merger between Paramount and Skydance. I can't remember exactly when, a couple of years ago or so, where he to form out Paramount Skydance. Okay, that's what happened here. And Paramount owned CBS. So when this happened, okay, David Ellis is a right-wing Republican, been a staunch reporter of Donald Trump. He also has family ties and connections between him and his father to Israel, so he's very much pro-Israel. In that that whole thing. So he is in taking over this, and he promised Trump when he took over, and he got the Trump administration to allow for this merger to happen. He promised Trump that he was going to make CBS more right friendly. Okay, because at the time, Trump was in a lawsuit with CBS over, I think, the stuff around the election, whatever, and I can't remember exactly, some stuff that was said. I think maybe it was the 60-minute interview or something like that. So in order to get that settled, and to also allow for the Trump administration to allow this merger to happen, Paramount paid $16 million. You'll see here. Let me blow this up. See here, Paramount paid $16 million to settle the CBS lawsuit. All right, the CBS Trump lawsuit in July of 2025, to ensure that the FCC, headed by the Trump loyalists, would block the merger. Paramount also then chose not to renew the late night show with Stephen Colbert, because Colbert, called the settlement a big fat bribe. Colbert has also been very much pushed back on the Trump administration, and of course, if Trump doesn't like it, this guy just took over CBS. They cut him out. Then, with the merger, David Ellis then turns around and hires, because he he agreed and told Trump that he would make CBS News a more conservative friendly network. All right. And then including in that, he hired then conservative political commentator Barry Weiss as the editor in chief. And she has been completely shutting down projects and protecting the Trump administration from stuff. She pushed and delayed the reporting by 60 minutes on the CCOT stuff because it was very big at that time. It wound up getting pushed off and delayed. It eventually did get released later on, but that was kind of after the stuff about CCOT was over. And so people weren't concerned about it as much anymore when it released. So, but nevertheless, I mean, it was still important, but people had forgot about it or didn't care about it anymore because it wasn't going on anymore. Even though they're so bad at this, though, that 60-minute thing, interview or about CCOT still released in like Canada. So even though it didn't release here in the United States, it released in Canada. And then Canada, people from Canada and other people that noticed it started sharing it around. So it still got shared around, even though Barry Weiss kind of tried to cut it. And then they've also tried to cut other interviews and stuff. It's just been a whole thing. So you've got this far right Trump supporting right wing billionaire, owner of Paramount Skydance, has done bought up CBS. So CBS has done ultimately went right wing. Now, what's happened recently is that we had Netflix trying to merger with Warner Brother Discovery. Now, under Warner Brother Discovery, we have channels like, of course, Discovery Channel. You have HGTV, Turner Broadcast, Cartoon Network, Boomerang, but also CNN, TBS, and TNT. Netflix was trying to merge with them because Warner Brothers has a pretty good streaming, has some streaming connections and stuff like that. So it was a broader like streaming possibility for Netflix in a growth of these two major media conglomerates coming together potentially, which would have probably even in itself brought up a concern around antitrust and stuff. But nevertheless, they were trying to merge. Well, in the middle of them trying to merge and come up with a deal, you had Paramount come in and slap in a deal to counter Netflix going, oh yeah, boom, we'll give you this to take Warner Brothers. So that has been, and what would that mean? That would mean then Paramount would take Warner Brothers. They already have CBS. So then if they were to acquire Warner Brothers, they would acquire CNN. And again, that would mean that David Ellis would promise to make CNN more conservative friendly, even though CNN already plays in the center as it is. CBS already played in the center, but to push it more and more far right, more and more pro or protective of Donald Trump. You had Netflix on Thursday that it will not match, okay? Netflix has finally come out dropping the bid for Warner Brothers. As of Thursday, will not match the Paramount Skydance latest bid to Warner Brothers Discovery, clearing the way for a massive merger that could shake up the entertainment and media industry. Netflix agreed in December to buy part of Warner Brothers Discovery for $27.75 a share, or $82.7 billion. But Paramount Skydance had made a $30 a share all-cash offer to buy all of the company. And on Tuesday, raised its offer to $31 a share. Okay? Earlier on Thursday, Warner Bros. Discovery Board of Directors notified Netflix that Paramount's $31 share offered constituted a superior proposal. The transaction we negotiated, this is from the Netflix CEO, Sarandos, would have created shareholder value with a clear path to regulatory approval. However, we've always been disciplined, and at the price required to match Paramount Skydance's latest offer, the deal is no longer financially attractive, so we are declining to match the bid. Paramount Skydance, okay, whatever. The Sarandos spoke with several Trump administration officials, but not with Donald Trump. On Thursday, the Netflix executive had a meeting at the White House with Mr. Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, and earlier in the day, he met with Justice Department Attorney General Pam Bondi. The Antitrust Division's acting chief, Hamid Asafi, I guess that's how you say it, and other senior Justice Department staff, according to sources familiar with the conversation. Justice Department officials told Sarandos they expected to conduct a very comprehensive antitrust investigation into Netflix Warner deal. Warner Brothers Discovery, I bet they are. I bet they're going to do a very comprehensive antitrust investigation. Warner Brothers Discovery owns streaming and filming studios along with cable networks, of course, CNN, Food Network, HBO, HGTV, TBS, TNT, Turner Classic Movies. The merger of Paramount and Discovery will require approval from federal antitrust enforcers that are put in place by Trump. Paramount Skydance executives have said that combining the companies would benefit consumers and help boost the entertainment industry, which has struggled to recover from the pandemic. Some entertainment industry groups and lawmakers have raised concerns that uniting two major Hollywood studios would undermine or could undermine competition. For this part, Skydance executives argue that the union between Netflix and Warner Brothers would have likely raised antitrust objections. So they're saying, well, I mean, that would have been antitrust objections. Ours is going to be too. That's fine. Whatever, they don't care. But it's like, oh, you were okay. They were trying to play that. Well, it wasn't. It was okay for Netflix and them, but it's not okay for us. Which it would have been an antitrust anytime these. Or rather, anytime two major conglomerates like that try to merge, there should be an antitrust investigation done. Does it always happen, or does it always do it like unbiasedly and fairly? No, maybe not. But here we have the Trump administration that would be doing this antitrust between Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers, if they actually go through with this merger, who Trump is already in the pocket of David Ellis. And David Ellis has already promised him CBS would become more friendly, which they have. And again, he's going to promise CNN to become more friendly. So, of course, the administration is going to allow this merger to go through. There's no doubt that they're going to allow it to go through. So now you're going to have a coalescing media market that's going to include Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, CBS Now, and very possibly here in the near future, CNN. All of them. And who is going to be left? Only MSNBC, which has now been rebranded MS Now, which is going to be the only left-leaning, what degree arguably center you can consider it, media left in the country, mainstream media. The right is buying up all the media to control all the media and what the media is delivering to you, the people. And it's all being bought up by someone who is in favor and protecting and defending and supporting this administration and what they're doing. being friendly, not objective, being pro-Trump administration. Which is exactly from a authoritarian fascist playbook. You take over or make the judicial system invalid. You make the legislation invalid. You take over media. You try your best to take over the educational and higher education, or either make them invalid. You take over agencies and consolidate executive power. All of these things are lining up and matching up, and they're happening in real time. If at this point you do not realize that this is an authoritarian fascist regime that is taking over every sector of our society that they can take over, and next it's elections, they're already in the works. There's just released an internal memo going around the White House to try to do unilateral executive power thing to take over elections by using an emergency security, like national emergency around elections, to give the executive the power to take over elections. And that is an internal memo that's going around the White House and the administration and how they're going to manage that. It's happening in real time. They are taking over everything and trying to consolidate power and consolidate influence. Not to mention your right wing on the independent news arena that is like, they're massively consolidated. They all protect each other. They're all around the same network. Your left they have never been consolidated. The left has never been consolidated. They are broken. They are kind of independent. They've always been kind of independent. It is imperative at this point that the left coalesce together as much as we possibly can. And if you want to help bolster left-wing media, whether it's independent or whether it's actual, the only one that's going to probably be left here soon, MS Now, on the mainstream, supporting your left wing as much as possible, as much as you can. I know that the economy is in bad shape, and it's hard for anybody to support anything. And I know here recently I've been asking as much as possible if you could support me, please. But even if you don't support me, please support somebody. Support MS Now, or support any of the major big left media, independent media on YouTube or whatever. The Kyle Kalinskis, the Breaking Points, the Minority Report, or like, please do be supporting one of them or some of them. And if you do choose to support me, amazing, thank you. And I will be here and try to keep this this left perspective, to try to talk about these kinds of things and push back on this right takeover of everything as much as I possibly can. I promise you that. I will do it as long as I can get some support to be able to do it as long as I can. And I don't know how much longer I could be able to do it, honestly. But like I said, if you can't support me or don't feel, trustworthy enough to support me, please support somebody. Please support somebody to help keep and strengthen and build the left wing progressive media outlets as much as possible, because the rest of media is being taken over, and we need to be coming together and uniting and supporting each other here on the left as much as we can to push back on this takeover. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for joining me here. And again, I thank you for all the support that you do give, whether it's just views. Subscriptions could help as much as possible. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you watch me and you check me out, but you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Commenting helps get more videos in front of more people. That would be amazing, And if you do at some point find that I'm, legitimate enough or honorable enough to help and give some support, then I'd very much appreciate it. Whether it's a one-time donation there or a Patreon there, if either way, that would be amazing. But like I said, if you don't support me, please support somebody. Please support somebody. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.